Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's going to be part 2 of the only record you have from that band in your record collection. A lot of people, they've got a whole bunch of this band or that band. Well, I've only got just the one record. And I'm doing it where I'm not just picking the low fruit where that band only had one record, or it's really these really obscure records that are hard to find and there's only a few out there, so that's going to be the only one that I have. I'm trying to get more popular groups a lot of people know, but I've only got one record. For instance, Budgie. Budgie's got a lot of records out, but this is the only Budgie record that I have. It's called Budgie Squawk. This is fantastic. I've had probably, I think, 4 or 5 different Budgie records. They're all pretty good. But I just found out every time I wanted to play Budgie, this was the record I wanted to play. So I don't have the other ones anymore. Eric Clapton. This is the only album I have by Eric Clapton, and I've had a bunch of his records. And this is, of course, the best of Eric Clapton. It's got all his great hits on it. And it's a 2 LP, beautiful Japanese record on a beautiful thick gatefold cover, and they've got beautiful sound on it. This is the only Eric Clapton record I need. And then, of course, Eric Clapton, he was with Cream. And the songs that aren't on that Eric Clapton record, they're on this record. And this is another 2 LP. It's on a gatefold. This is a French pressing from about 1972 or 3 or so, something in there. And this is the only Cream record that I have. Then we've got a record a lot of people have, and this band Blue Cheer. They put out, there's quite a number of records that they put out, and quite a few of them are good. And I remember back in the day, I had bought the 45 of this when it came out in 69 or 70 when, what was the name of the Summertime Blues. Ain't no cure for the Summertime Blues. That is such a great record, great song. Out of Focus was the other, on the flip side of that was Out of Focus. And yeah, Summertime Blues. It's only 3 minutes and 43 seconds. And this is an original on the Phillips label, US pressing. I got this down in Clearwater, Florida when I was down there visiting a couple of years ago. Really nice textured cover, really cool. So that's a nice record. And it didn't break the bank. It was like $20 or something. So that's a good deal for that. What else, Ron? Okay, here's another record. The Cult. This has got, She Sells Sanctuary. Say that 5 times fast, right? Here's another really good record. OG on a gatefold. And I had the Canadian original that was on a gatefold, but these black covers, unless you take really good care of them, it was kind of rough on the outside. So I happened to find this one. They're not real popular, but I found one, and this is the only Cult record that I have now. Chilliwack. It's a Canadian band. They put out a lot of records. This is their first one, and this actually is a hard record to find. It's on the old Parrot label. I can pull it out. You can see the Parrot label, yeah. Canadian Parrot label. And this has got Sundown, the song Sundown on it. And Reno. That's another really good song. There's a bunch of good songs on here. That used to play them on the radios. Back in 1970 this record came out. And this is the only Chilliwack that I have. Now, this is interesting here. I'm pulling this out because I think there's a lot of people that do the same thing that I'm doing. I did on this record. This is the band Captain Beyond, and this is the only, they put out 4 records. I've had them all. But every time I want to listen to Captain Beyond, this is the one I want to listen to. And quite frankly, some people prefer some of the other ones. I don't. This is the one that I love. The other ones I don't really care for that much. And so when I get a record that I really truly love, okay, this is the original pressing. It's got the 3D Lang Turtle cover on it, picture, right? So that's one of them. So then I had to get one still in the shrink. You got to have a version of the same record in the shrink, right? That's hard to find. Then you've got to have the Japanese edition. And this is with this OV. It's the best sounding version of the record that I could find. And then here, I guess it was, if I can see the year real quick on the record, I don't see it. 2014. Here it is. 2014, they put out, it says on the front, 500 copies of this record on a limited edition. It's a foil stamped gatefold cover, and it's on this splatter vinyl. Of course, it's still sealed. I have no need to open the record up, just for inspection purposes, but it's just a collector's item. I don't need the record because when I play the record, this is the one that I play. It sounds the best and it's gorgeous. But when I saw that, yeah, it was hard not to buy it. Just for, and then of course I've had this since about forever. And then I was looking, I used to look a lot for these. And I saw this one in the shrink and I said, well, I'll get that one. So you have your favorite record and you just have multiple copies of it, even though you don't need multiple copies. I could have 4 different Captain Beyond records, but I've got 4 of the same record. And it's the only one I have. Harry Chapin. You know, he's put out a lot of good songs, had a lot of good stuff on the radio. WOLD. I mean, just saying it makes me want to play the song. And Cats in the Cradle and Taxi. And man, there's a whole bunch of songs, man. There's a whole bunch of them on here. And if I ever want to listen to Harry Chapin, which isn't very often, but now when I look at it, it makes me want to play the record. I have this copy. Only one of Harry Chapin that I have. I think everybody's got this record. Christopher Cross, self-titled. And there's a bunch of these in Japan presses, and I picked one up really fairly cheap because it's got on this, this record's got Ride Like the Wind, that's it, and Sailing. I thought it had Sailing, and it's not on the title, it's like almost second song from the end. And it's just a beautiful music. And I don't hardly ever play it, but I've got it, and I should play it more. But it's the only Christopher Cross record I have. Then we've got Donovan. I actually need more Donovan. I've only got this one record by him. And because I really love Hurdy Gurdy Man, and it actually sounds fantastic on this record. It's not the OG either. This is on the Blue Epic. The yellow would be the OG. I don't even have that. I just have this one. Bought it used at a record store somewhere along the line. And we've got Rick Derringer. I know he's got at least 4 or 5 records out, at least. But this is the only one I have. This is a friend of mine. This was like his favorite. When this Hoochie Coo record came out, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, he kept bugging me to buy the record. Well, I never did. And so he actually bought the record, brought it over to my house, and every day when he came over, he said, play it, Ron. And so I had to play the record for him. And so I actually saw this and I got it for a really good price. And I said, you know, because of my friend, I bought it just because when I look at it, I think of him all the time. And Evo. Evo's a pretty popular band out there. And this is the only one that I have of theirs. Because that song Disco Dancer is on here. When I heard that song, Disco Dancer, I had to get it. So here's the record. It's got Disco Dancer on it. And if I ever play the record, that's the song I'm playing. Fantastic. Well, so that's up to D. I went back and I found a couple. Was putting the records back from the last batch, and I found a couple more under B and such that I said, hey, this is the only record I have by this band. And I pulled out those, and now I've made it up to D. So I probably got a couple more videos of, Ron, what's the only record you have by the band in your collection? And I was talking to a fellow just about this. I just talked to him about it. He would put a comment on the last video, which I really appreciate people putting comments on there and liking the video and that type of thing, and subscribing. Thanks everybody for subscribing to the video. I mean, to the channel. It means a lot to me. So he said that he used to have like 5,000 records, and he had to get rid of a bunch of stuff because he, you know, you can't, 5,000 is just too many records. And I answered and I said, you know what? 5,000 records. Let's just say you have 1,000 records and you listen to 2 records every day, right? That's only not even 800 records you're going to listen to in a year. You can't listen to all of your, if you've got 1,000, you can't listen to all of them at 2 a day. You know, some days you might play 3, some days you might play 1, some days you might play none, some days you might play 4. But you say on average you're playing 2 a day, which is quite a bit. You're not going to play in a whole year. You've got records you're not ever playing. And if you've got 5,000, how many records are you not playing all the time? That is a lot. So you go through and you purge records out. And so you say, you know, I've got 5 of these records by this one band, and I really only bought it, I was trying to be a completist. I don't need these other 4. I don't ever listen to them. I don't really even think they're all that good. I'll just sell those 4, and then I can buy, you know, an analog productions pressing of some other record that I really love, and I can hit that audiophile sound on it. So that's kind of what I've been doing in my journey. And I think a lot of people, when you get to a certain part in your audiophile journey and you've got a couple thousand records, you go in there, well, hang on a minute. I got to rethink, what does collecting mean to me, right? And you rethink that whole process, and a lot of people go through that. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And I've still got a couple of stacks against the wall of the most rare records, and I think I'll do that video next. Kind of put it in the middle between some of these other videos that I'm doing about. I only have 1 record. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.